Om Asato Ma Satgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Shri Guru Bhyo Namaha. Pranam to Guruji, pranam to all friends of Vyasa, and my humble pranam to the viewers. Friends, last episode we have discussed about the Sankhya principle, Sankhya philosophy given by Kapila Muni. And we found that he is a scientist who found the secret of nature, how the nature is making or getting all the ingredients, 23 ingredients with the help of Mahat, and how the same is forming an object, and that all together 23 elements plus Mahat becomes 24, and all 24 elements are working for Purusha. So that way 25 elements are responsible for whole creation. That we have seen. And we have seen the utility of Sankhya in other fields like scripture, Bhagavad Gita, Vedanta, and even Muni like Patanjali has taken Sankhya principle as a base. In addition, we have seen that application of Sankhya principle in the Chinese concept of Yang and Yin. At the same time, its application also is indicated in the scientific domain. Today, we are going to take up the discussion related to what Veda tells about atomic science. The Veda speaks on atomic science and how the atomic science, what are the chronological order of atomic science, and ultimately we'll see that how the atomic science also endorses the concept of Sankhya principle given by Kapila Muni. It is based on that. And in other words, we can say that atomic science directly or indirectly also endorses the concept of Sagunahi Agunahi Nahi Kachu Veda given by Sri Tulsidas ji in Ramayana. Atomic science, once we talk about atomic science or the Veda, what it tells in depth of that, Rig Veda, certain mantras, speaks completely on how the whole energy scenario of the universe is getting maintained, first getting chain reaction and then being maintained and controlled. So all things are mentioned in the Veda, Rig Veda, certain verses. We will try to take out the verses of those verses related to this. And while discussion, we will find that Big Bang defined by science, what the Veda tells about the Big Bang. Shortly, we'll see that also. Not only that, we conduct the prayer, we say it is fact that we tell with the help of prayer that Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. That means that Brahma is Purna, complete, and from complete Brahma, complete universe is taken, even that Brahma is completely, Brahma is complete. There is no deterioration or there is no any setback in the Brahm. So that also gets cleared with the help of atomic science once we are going to discuss what Veda tells. So a lot of things we can gain from this discussion. And let us start what Veda tells. Veda brings one of the verses or one of the mantra. Veda tells that first of all, whole universe is filled with cosmic dust. Cosmic dust is nothing, a sort of formative dust. Billion, trillions of cosmic dust, formative dust, exist in the universe in the balanced state. Balance means this each dust, each cosmic dust consists of 3 particles and all are in introvert nature. For clarity, let us imagine one cosmic dust as a circle, and inside the circle from periphery at 120-degree angle, 3 particles exist pointing towards its center. So that is called from dust have got the particles pointing towards center. Center means the whole dust is in introvert condition or balanced condition. It is uniformly, it is existing without any activity. It is completely balanced. So cosmic dust in balanced condition or introvert condition having 3 particles pointing towards center is called nature. Nature has got the dust, and those dust are not at all active. They are introvert and they are in a balanced condition. Then what Veda says, the effulgent light of Paramatma or God that pushes or that acts on the each cosmic dust and make them active means that the introvert nature of particles at 120 degree that get extrovert. That becomes means all heads of the arrows inside or particles that gets exposed towards the surface of the dust. So this activity is done by the effulgent light of Paramatma. Paramatma is nothing but the full of effulgent light, completely effulgent light in the Nirakara Brahma. And that light only activates the sleeping dust, or we can say the formative dust which exist in the nature. Nature is defined by the same. What is nature? Nature is nothing but the billion trillions of cosmic dust in introvert condition without having activity. That is the Prakriti, that is the nature. So Rig Veda tells about that. The same is getting activated with the help of effulgent light. Further, what Veda tells, once all the cosmic dust, not all, whatever dust have been projected or brought under the light, effulgent light, they become active. Then how they get movement? So for that, another sloka of Veda describes that the reins of the horses pull them apart. And that kind of sort of imagination we have put on the slide, that how the 2 particles, we have taken only 2 particles for clarity, that how the 2 particles get pulled by having the force. So in that shown that each particle has got 3 projected outward extrovert nature of particles, and particles having a neutral charge, they are silent, but particles having positive and negative charge, they form a sort of attractive force, and that kind of force pulls them out. Means that gives a sort of disturbance in the among the particles, and that way particles move from one place to other place. So that is also described in Veda. And further, Veda tells that this way the original state of Prakriti or nature could have been the silent mode of all the particles. And here one thing I forgot to mention, that Veda tells about the particles in different names. Both are same. What Veda tells about the particles, Veda tells that inside the cosmic dust there are three particles named as Varuna, Mitra, and Aryama. Varuna has got positive charge, Mitra has got negative charge, and Aryama has got zero charge or neutral charge. Same thing is correspondingly or respectively, they are they have been indicated in atomic science. That is a proton having positive charge, electron having negative charge, and neutron has got a zero charge or neutral charge. So in Vedic terms, that Varuna is nothing but a proton, Mitra is nothing but the electron, and Aryama is nothing but the neutron. And this Varuna, Mitra, and Aryama, they are only exist. They exist only in the cosmic dust in introvert form in the beginning, and after having the attack or a sort of shower of effulgent light, all gets projected outside. So that we have seen already. Now, once this Varuna, Aryama, or Mitra are in introvert, that is a state of Prakriti. But nature, Prakriti or nature, and that state is made active or in the form of inception when controller Brahman or effulgent light acts on the sleeping mode of particles. Then all the things we have seen in that Vedic mantra. Now, having all the things that the Vedas tells, and that atomic particle is also named in Veda as Apah. Apah they call, Apah with otherwise meaning of Apah is Jala or water, but they are in fluid state. All the particles become a sort of semi-fluid state. And they just act upon or they move. As we have seen that the movement started because of the two forces, attractive forces, pull the atom. While doing that, while gaining the movement or momentum, they form the strong or a sort of completely stable type of atomic particle as a proton, electron, and neutron, or in Vedic term as a Varuna, Mitra, and Aryama. And these atomic particles, once having a stability, they are called Vasu, V-A-S-U, Vasu in Vedic term. And here in our scientific term, they are the particles. Most of us, we know that particles, once we talk, we are having only proton, electron, and neutron in scientific aid. Because any atom structure, we have seen that in center, there is a neutron enclosed by the proton, covered by the proton. Both are existing in center of the atom, and orbit of the atom has got electron orbiting around that. So this is the concept of atom. But at the same time, particle physics, they have found the fourth particle also, that is neutrino. And in Veda, it is said that that fourth particle comes because of all the three, means Mitra, Varuna, Mitra, and Aryama, and they also exist, undoubtedly, but the three are the major one. After having the movement, once they gain the movement, then they form the air, means a sort of momentum forms the change in the neighboring place, and that way air or Vayu has been formed. So these two things are the product of when effulgent light attacks on the particle cosmic dust, and they get activated and they form the air. So Vasu and Deva is air. So they are the that has been mentioned in the Vedic term. So they are the formation of atomic particles after getting activated. In the long run, they just try to repel or try to attract each other. Like we know that if the charges are same, then they repel. If both the two positive charge come together, repel each other, and if negative and positive particles come together, they attract each other. So the same phenomena happens in the universe. And lastly, they make a sort of very stable kind of pentagon. Pentagon means a sort of a structure mandala, where 5 cosmic dust, active dust, are getting enclosed, having the exposure of their charges facing outward, but inward they are balanced. I mean to say that any pentagon you can imagine, there are 5 corners, and each corner active cosmic dust is there, and there one charge, let us say positive charge, is facing towards the surface, outer surface, and negative and neutral charge is inside, which are getting a balance, which are attracting other particles from other corner, and they are neutral. Means inside the pentagon, they are neutral, but outside of the pentagon, they are having positive charge. Similarly, negatively charged particle also does the same thing, and neutral particle also does the same thing. They, by forming the pentagon structure, they become very stable, and they are actually the part and parcel of bringing all the particles, all the ingredients of the universe for the creation. So they all each pentagon positively charged outer surface of pentagon, negatively charged outer surface, and neutrally charged outer surface. All the 3 are called Ahamkara because they are very strong, and they only govern, they only attract the other particles of the universe existing in the energy form, and then only those particles are given to the Prakriti or nature to form an object. Let us see what happens. Positively charged pentagon, they have got all around positive charge, and negative and balanced are getting equalized among themselves. So this is positively charged pentagon or particle, we can say that mandala in terms of Vedic term. That positively charged mandala is responsible to bring certain aspects of certain ingredients from the universe. Similarly, negatively charged mandala will attract certain ingredients, and neutral attract certain ingredients. So we see that what are the ingredients attracted by each. Neutrally charged mandala will attract the Tanmatra. Tanmatra means droplets of the energy. So they are having Sabda, Asprasha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha. That is a basic sattva which has got the tendency to form the Panchamahabhuta. So let us make it more clear that neutrally charged pentagon attracts the Tanmatra, that is nothing but that is droplets of the energy, and they are of 5 kinds, and those 5 kinds are forming in larger, in a grosser way, that is Panchamahabhuta, that is earth, water, fire, air, and ether. Similarly, positively charged mandala, which is another Ahamkara, they are forming, they are attracting the 5 action organs, what we call karmendriya. And because 5 are there, so all are responsible for each karmendriya, so that way they attract. And those action organs are drawn in the action, means taken in as a sort of ingredients for creation. Similarly, negatively charged Pentagon or Mandala will attract, will give a sort of, will produce the ingredients like all sensory organs, like what we are having hearing sense, smelling sense, as well as sight and tasting all. So those indriyas are getting activated, or those indriyas are brought and given to the nature for creation. So what we saw, that 3 Ahamkara, negatively charged Ahamkara, gives 10 elements like 5 Tanmatra, and in turns 5 Tanmatra gives 5 Panchamahabhuta, so 10 ingredients. Similarly, positively charged Ahamkara, that gives the 5 ingredients like 5 action organs or karmendriya, and 5 negatively charged Pentagon or Mandala brings the 5 sensory organs or karmendriya. So altogether, these 3 Ahamkara brings around 20 ingredients. And in addition, they themselves are 3 Ahamkara, so total 23 elements. With the atomic concept also we saw that it is handed over to the Prakriti or nature or creation. So, but it is this we have seen in Vedic terminology, that they are of active particles, atomic particles, which are taken into account. And that way, this 23 plus Ahamkara itself, means Mahat itself, which is first initial stage got activated, that is 24, and all 24 are working for the Brahman or for the Purusha. So the 25 particles are responsible for creation of any object. That was the secret of nature, and that is the secret of atomic particle, atomic science, and as well as the secret, but these 2 secrets, this kind of secret was found by Kapila Muni, the great Rishi, who found the secret of nature, and at the same time that can be made use for the individual human being, so that furthermore advantage of this secrecy can be obtained. So we have, so far we have understood that how atomic particle came into existence, what was the prior state, and how that atomic particle got a movement, and how the atomic particle got framed as a sort of Ahamkara, or we can say stable Pentagon Mandala, and how these Mandala have were in action to get the ingredients for nature. Now, let us compare this, what atomic science, Veda Speakes on atomic science has revealed. The same 25 ingredients we found in atomic particle language, and at the same time, Kapila Muni has given, already we have seen in last episode, so they are parallel or they are similar. And the last episode we have mentioned that Kapila Muni, what they have found, he has found, was his findings about Sankhya principle was endorsing the concept given by Sri Tulsidas ji, Sagunahi Agunahi Nahi Kuch Veda in Ramayana, holds good. So in the same fashion, same way we can say that atomic concept what we have discussed now, they also endorses the concept of Sri Tulsidas ji, that there is no Veda, there is no difference in Sagunahi, Agunahi. Here, in earlier form, one suppose in once all the atomic particles were in sleeping mode. What was those mode? That was only Sagunahi. Prakriti means it was in simply a state, simply sleeping state. It was in Sagunahi. Means it was in Saguna form, in some form. And that's why this cosmic dust is also called formative dust. It was in form. And when the effulgent light action started, then altogether that becomes Agunahi. And all Agunahi means all the ingredients in Brahman was brought by Mahat to form, to become the ingredients for creation. So this way we can say that Sagunahi means a sort of form, identity with forms, and no identity, have got no Veda, no difference. That we have concluded with the help of atomic science, as well as with the help of Sankhya principle given by Kapila Muni. Those principles are, those concepts are having the backup of action done by the Prakriti or nature, the secret way nature was conducting that one. Now, what is the message we are getting with this? This discussion provides what are the message. We have seen that in science, modern science, the particles appearance, we call it after Big Bang. And here Big Bang is defined by the Veda is nothing but the action of effulgent light on the sleeping mode of the particles. So that is one difference. We can see that difference is not there, but at the same time, concept-wise, it is not a Big Bang. It is sort of only energy transformation or making sleeping mode of particles in an active mode. So that is one message we got it. Second thing, the chain reaction in the universe is always controlled by the some tattva, that is Paramatma, because there is no adverse chain reaction. All the time, as and when Paramatma wishes, the universe gets expanded. And this Big Bang concept, according to science, is going on. It is not that once it happened, it is not going on now. It is going on. As and when universe gets expanded, it comes as this way, and there is no Big Bang, there is no big sound, but it happens automatically. This auto system is already built in the cosmos, and it is controlled by the Paramatma or by the Tattva, which is having the all control in hand. And we have seen the Prakriti also, we have seen the nature. Our nature is keeping all billion trillions of cosmic dust, and same cosmic dust becomes the Mahat, a sort of agent for Prakriti or nature to bring the all ingredients from the universe for the creation. So these are the message, and scientists can make use of this Sankhya principle as well as atomic science given in Veda, along with it, whatever they have found as a quantum field theory, and then they can find easily the inception of, or a sort of from root of neutrino, which is a sort of major scenario or major field for their research. They can easily find out what is the root of neutrino and where neutrino goes. In fact, if you go to the Vedic science, where it tells about how the formation of particle and antiparticles, about electron and proton, how it happens, both are going on naturally, and till they are kept apart, they exist. Means particle formation as well as antiparticle formation both exist till they are apart. They are not at all interacting. But when they interact, then one annihilate others. And that way, that the whole process becomes a sort of energy, pure form of energy, and that Veda call it that gamma rays is being formed. So all things have been given in the Vedic concept or in Rig Veda terms. So this shows what we have discussed, that there is a lot to gain from the Veda, there is a lot to gain from the Sankhya principle, and that way we can also endorse the sort of, we also get the satisfactory answer for the Ramayan's statement that Sagunahi Agunahi Nahi Kathu Veda. Now let us close this discussion. Let us have the Shanti mantra. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.